I've played a lot of mobile games, and some people might call me an expert.
Others might call me a psycho.
But either way, I have the knowledge and I have the experience to rank these games. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's rank mobile games. Hello, everybody. I'm Keyin, and today we're gonna be ranking mobile games. And we've got quite a few to get through. So let's start. Fruit Clinic. What a video game. Very disturbing. You're literally performing surgeries on adorable little fruits that have faces and react to your skills as a fruit surgeon. And let's face it, I should never, ever be allowed to do surgery. Now, one of the issues that I ran into specifically with Fruit Clinic was that the game stopped. It literally stopped. I forget exactly what level. I think it was like level 64 or something like that. You'd get to it and then you'd try to do the surgery that it asked you to do, and you could not get past that. And the developers just stopped doing anything. It never got fixed. So unlike a lot of mobile games where a lot of times what you get is like this repeating of previous levels, it didn't even do that, which is very annoying for the record. That was very frustrating. You'd be an A tier, maybe even an S tier, but I gotta put you in B tier. Sorry. Lick Runner. What a truly vile, disgusting game. Designed to make you go, ugh! And boy, did it. This is not at the top of the tier list, folks. It made me want to barf. The things you licked in that game were disgusting. No, F tier. I'm sorry. It's not necessarily a bad game. It's fine, but the concept and just the grossness of it. Blah! Now, Red Ball. This dude is going straight to the top. By far, one of my favorite mobile games of all time. And perhaps, one of my favorite games I've ever played on the channel. Could it be better? Yes, I will admit. There are some bits in Red Ball that could be better. But overall, I mean, you get, I think, 4 different worlds. They're all distinct. They ramp up in difficulty. I think if anything, if there's any room for improvement with Red Ball specifically, it's the boss fights. I think some of the boss fights are a little throwaway, kind of boring, not all that exciting. Towards the end of the game, I would say the boss fights get better, but earlier on in the game, they're kind of throwaway, a little lame. But man, Red Ball is such a good game. If you guys haven't played Red Ball, also worth mentioning, no microtransactions. None of that. You can buy the game, I think, for like $3 and you get the whole game. All right, next up, we got Toca Kitchen. Now, this is a classic. I love this game. And I would say that this includes Toca Kitchen 2 and probably even the Toca Sushi 1, because they're all kind of similar. They just have different foods available to them and different customers that you have to please. Now, one of my favorite things to do in Toca Kitchen is to make truly revolting and disgusting things, but they always come back. They're always back for more. So I don't know what it is. I really like Toca Kitchen. I'm putting it in the A tier. It lets you open up your creativity. You can basically do anything that you want within the design of the game. And that's why it's getting A. Next up, Happy Animals. Now, this is the game where you're basically taking care of animals inside of the zoo. And I love that the icon is the crocodile, because that is literally the first thing you do when you start the game. And boy, is that a strong start. You have to feed the crocodile. So you're holding a big old hunk of steak right in front of the mouth of the crocodile, and you have to feed him that steak without feeding him your arm. And you get to experience exactly what you might think will happen if you stick your hand in the open mouth of a crocodile. He eats it! He eats your hand, and it was frightening the first time I did that, but I had to know. The game continues, and you play basically like an assortment of mini games. Now, I kind of have the same criticism against Happy Animals that I have against like something like Fruit Clinic, where it runs out of ideas. Now, it starts doing the thing where it just repeats a lot of the games that you've already played. I wish there was a little bit more variety, but all in all, it's a great game. I think I'm dropping it in the B tier. This right here is Flexi Ring. Now, this is the game where you basically collect a bunch of rubber bands and then you put them around different objects, and then inevitably those objects explode. It's so satisfying. But the way that you collect your rubber bands is by completing these puzzles where you have like these overlapping rubber bands and you have to take them off in sequence so that you don't remove the ones that are like stacked on top. You know what I mean? So it's got like a really good puzzle mechanic on top of this whole concept of blowing stuff up with a billion rubber bands. I really like this game. Does it earn, I mean, it's definitely not S tier. It ain't hanging out with Red Ball. A tier, oh, it's teetering on A tier. It's got a lot of content. So what I'm going to say is that it's ahead of Fruit Clinic in the B tier. I seem to remember getting hit with a few too many ads while I was playing through that one, but still like a really solid game. Great time. Bounce Masters. Okay, this is a classic. Launching a penguin to the dang stratosphere. It's so fun. And one of the things that made it so fun for me was basically being able to pay to win. I think I spent real money in the game to get some kind of like rainbow mallet or something. I mean, I have these vague memories of it, but it was so overpowered and we launched that penguin so far. But ultimately, we launched that penguin to the greatest love of his life. And that's what really matters. We were basically matchmakers. And for that, we thank you, Bounce Masters. That's an A tier. That's an A tier right there. Next up on the list is Investment Run. Now, this is a pretty run-of-the-mill kind of standard running style game. You know, it's the style where you're running forward on like a thin platform and there's different things that you can run through to like increase your level, to make you stronger, better, whatever it is. And then you got to dodge other things and you got to pick the green gate and not the red gate. This one had a little bit of a twist to that very common sort of format where it made you choose investments along that pathway. So it would kind of force you to make like on the spot decisions about which company you think is more successful. So like in the icon, you can see it's the Twitter logo. So this is when it was still Twitter versus Facebook. So where do you stand Investment Run? I mean, it did have like a fun little mechanic where like at the end, you got to spend your money to build up your island. I think it sits pretty strongly in the C tier. It's not amazing, but it's totally fine. Now this one. Is this Nail Clinic? Is that what this is called? I kind of forget the exact name of this game, but I sure remember it because it traumatized me. Boy, we had to do some disgusting stuff to some psychotic people who do not take care of their nails or their hands or any other part of their body for that matter. It was disgusting. That game was disgusting. Now, was it satisfying? Yes, in a very demented way. It was very satisfying fixing those issues, but it can be a little upsetting. That's all I'm saying. I'm putting you in the C tier because you're gross, but you were fun. Papers, Grade, Please. This is a fun one. Pretending to be teacher with very little consequence, at least for me. For the students, oh, their lives are ruined because I gave them so many terrible lessons. I passed the students that were completely wrong. I made excuses for them. It was great. Although I will say some of the students, they were creative. And for that, they got to pass the class. That was a really fun game. I think that's an A. I think that's an A. Papers grade, please. Have they updated that game at all? Maybe we'll go back to it at some point. Next up is Mosquito. Don't get it twisted. It has an H in there. It's a weird name. I guess like the idea is that it's like a mosh, like a mosh party of mosquitoes. Is that the thought? Either way, the basic concept of the game is to start out as a single mosquito and then grow your army of mosquitoes and suck the life out of the human that you're attacking. And boy, you would turn them into husks. As someone who recently moved to an area that is definitely prone to get a lot more mosquitoes than I am used to, not a huge fan of mosquitoes. That's a B tier. That's a B tier. Long Neck Run. What a game. It's such a simple concept. You collect rings. Those rings stretch your neck. You get taller and taller. Sometimes you can multiply your rings. You get crazy multipliers at the end of the level. But then the genius thing that they did in that game that made me coming back for more is they have you stack up against different real life structures and things that are really tall. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You get to compare yourself to like the Eiffel Tower and the Empire State Building and the Burj Khalifa and then like bigger and bigger things. Eventually, I think you're just straight up compared to like the moon. Brother, Long Neck Run, I think you're going to A tier. You're going to A tier, not S tier. You got to have a little bit more game to be S tier, but definitely A tier. Now this right here is Airport Security. Very fun game. I do wish that there was a little bit more variety in the game, but one of my favorite parts about that game is just how dumb the criminals are. They're so obvious when they're doing something wrong. And the idea of letting them through was also very funny. Ooh, I'm having a hard time with this one. It's not S tier. It's either A or B tier. I'm going to say low A tier. I had a really good time with that game. And I think we played it multiple times too. It was great. Monster Catch Run. What a weird game. Initially, when I was playing this game, because again, it's a very kind of run-of-the-mill looking game, right? You're running down the narrow pathway. You're behind the character. You're shooting at things, but that's where it gets really interesting because you're shooting at different dinosaurs and monsters and stuff. And if you can get their health down to 0, you collect them. But then when you get to the end of the level, you use them to battle the monsters that are in your path. But then on top of that, you have the merging. So then you can take dinosaurs of the same kind, merge them together, get a better dinosaur. And of course, you always want to see what's the next cool dinosaur that I'm gonna get. It gets its hooks in you real fast. Again, like I'm torn between B and A tier. I mean, it's A. It's A. I'm putting it in the A tier. Fight me. No. I feel good about that. I feel good about that. A tier. Okay, stinking Solar Smash. What a game. What an absolutely amazing video game. There is no doubt in my mind, this game sits with the top of the top. In fact, I'm going to put it in front of Red Ball. Not that that has much meaning, but this boy right here, maximum S tier level mobile game. It doesn't even feel like a mobile game. It feels like a full PC game. The abilities that you have in that game, the custom things that you can do, the creativity you can have in a game about destroying planets. It's unbelievable. This game is so good. And they did amazing things with the game. They continued to add to it, and they still do. I know they are still working on updates for the game. One of my favorite games ever. Just period. It's so good. And all the secrets and stuff, oh my gosh. We love Solar Smash here. Big Solar Smash stance. Grumpy Neighbor. I like this guy. You know, the thing about Grumpy Neighbor, it's really cool. Like, you have a lot of different interactions that you can have with him, but I will say it's a little limited. Now, there were 3 different games, I believe, and we played all of them. And what I found is that each sequel had a little less going for it. So like the first one had a decent amount of content. There was a lot of different reactions you could get from the grumpy neighbor. And I think you could like collect stuff. And then the second one felt like there was a little less. And then by the third one, I think I literally got every single reaction from him in like 15 minutes. Now, is it a good game? Yeah, it's a good game. It's just, I wish there was a little bit more content. I kind of want to put it in the C tier. I'm going to put it at the top of the C tier. I feel kind of bad. I kind of feel like maybe, no, I'm sticking to it. C tier it is. We'll make him even grumpier. For now, we're moving on to, I think this is Just Draw. Yes, Just Draw. I like these drawing games. Even though I'm terrible at drawing, it makes me feel better about my drawing skills because it's very forgiving when it comes to what you need to draw for you to pass the puzzle. But there was some really clever puzzles, and I also really like the art style of Just Draw. Something about it was very appealing. All of the art looked very similar, so you knew you were like in the same game. Sometimes with these drawing games, the style of the actual puzzles changes. Like the look of the drawing can change from puzzle to puzzle, whereas Just Draw had a very cohesive, ooh, that's a good word, cohesive design throughout. And it had a lot of levels. But that was a great game. I had a great time with Just Draw. You're a B tier, dude. So this is Big Brain Run. I mean, it's a pretty run-of-the-mill game. Let's be honest, straight up. It kind of tries to do the same thing that our sweet Long Neck Run did, but with brains, which is funny and interesting, I guess. But it's kind of the same game. I have to drop it in the C tier. Was it a bad game? No. That's why it's sitting in C tier. Lip Art 3D. This is a game that I was not expecting to enjoy. The designs that you could make in this game were so cool. Now, as someone who has never experienced or done lip art on lips, it was a whole different world for me. And there were kind of like two phases to the game. The first phase was cleaning the gunk off of the customer's lips, and that was like super satisfying. I don't know what they had on their lips. It had like crustified, and you had to like sometimes take a laser to get that crust out of like the little crevices in their lips. It was disgusting, but it was also very satisfying. But then the second phase, of course, was putting on the lip art, and there was always kind of like this, like, what is it? You know, because you'd take these like stencils and then you'd start like filling that in with color, and then you'd like take a new tool and then you start like adding glitter or something, and then there's like a background, and then like it's like building on top of it, and then finally you get to see the whole image and you're like, I did that. You're A tier, dude. You're A tier. This one is Insect Run. It wasn't as good as Monster Catch Run, but it was okay. There was kind of like a merging mechanic, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't quite as compelling. I think you sit in the C tier. I don't hate you, but I don't love you. And also just the fact that I'm struggling to remember what I did in that game kind of says a lot. Now, Happy Glass. Happy Glass is a fantastic game. The puzzles are great. They're well designed. The mechanic of unlocking new pencils and also unlocking new happy glasses is very fun. And then you can eventually start changing the color of the liquid that you're filling happy glass with. It's a lovely game. It's everything you'd want. You're an A tier, dude. Look at how happy he is about being an A tier. He kind of wants to be an S tier. Yeah, you have to work a little bit harder for S tier. Sorry. 12 Locks. 12 Locks has some of the most well-designed puzzles I've ever experienced. I don't want to say it's like Zelda level puzzles, but some of them are really, really good. The perfect puzzle is a puzzle that is solvable, yes, but is difficult enough that when you solve it, you're like, my brain is working really good. S tier. And there's so much of it. There's so much 12 Locks content. Not to mention the art style is fantastic. That like claymation style art, it's beautiful. And last, but certainly not least, is what I believe is Draw One Part. Very much like Just Draw. There's so many different versions. In fact, I think there's like multiple developers that make different Draw 1 parts. So you never know which one you're going to get. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think Draw 1 part, it doesn't stand out as much to me as Just Draw. You're C tier. That's it. We're done. I can't believe it. That took an hour. Man, I'm good at talking about nothing. Let me know which games are your guys' favorites. Do you agree with my tier list? Would you move some stuff around? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now let's open some fan mail. This is from Felix. Felix says, I'm a big fan, like number 1. I am Felix. He also says that he likes cats, dogs, snakes, and sharks. Also, feed and grow fish life forever. He loves feed and grow fish. Thank you, Felix, fellow Tennessean. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.